Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore. Wait a minute, this music isn't right, the scene isn't right. Hang on. That's more like it. And now it's time for the show for all creatives. Nevermind the Furthermore. Your source for conversation, inspiration, and fun. With your host, Nicholas Anthony Tockert. He's an artist, a writer, a swordsman, and a game designer. He knows how to use the sword and axe in historical battles without anybody getting hurt too much. He's also the Manatee Man, master of marketing. And he may even have a guest or two. One thing, though, to be certain. Just don't call him a cryptid. With that, it's about time for the show. So sit back, enjoy, and have some coffee and chat with us.
Good morning, Nevermore.
I am not your host with most, Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tockert. I am Joe Bachman. And yes, I did find a clip that I was able to upload to be able to have him yell that even without being here. It is Wednesday. Nick is off today. So I am filling in, and I just realized half my face is dark. So let's see if that helps any. Oh, that helps some. Looked like I was part of a witness protection program this morning. So, before we get into my accountability and into your guys' comments, we do have some bills to pay. As always, this show is brought to you by the support of the Independent Creator Directory. That is indiecd.org, where you can sign up right now through, I think I set it for January 1st. As being the person who runs it, you'd think I would know this, but I believe it's through the end of the year at least. $30 to sign up. You can still use Podcast One to go through and get half off to be able to sign up for $15. And you can either use Nick's link or you can use Dawn's link. Dawn's ending is D. Dulas, Nick's is N. Tockert. So, but with that, like I said, we do have some bills to pay. So let's go ahead and pay them. All right, folks. So, it is Wednesday. Normally, I know Nick does a art time with Nick after this. I will probably not be doing an art time. One, because I don't have a tablet to draw on like he does. I don't have the program. And also, I can't draw a straight line with a ruler and an artist's hand guiding me. But we will be having the Burning His Yarn tonight. I have not decided if I'm going to do a burn tonight or if I'm going to try finish painting, doing the touch-ups on this little guy, so that he doesn't look so demonic for the holidays. But I also have this little guy that I got to finish painting. I printed a Christmas mistletoe, so might probably be painting both those tonight. Uh, no clue what the wife is going to be working on. I imagine it's either going to be the blanket for the cats, or she might not have. She might have another project. My accountability. So, as you all know, I have taken Mondays off recently. I am going through some updated Flutter and Dart tutorials, as my boss has asked me to try and create 2 new apps for work. I figure Flutter and Dart is going to be the best way for me to accomplish this, seeing as I haven't really touched Swift, which is the coding uh, preferred coding language for iOS. And I haven't really touched Kotlin, which is the preferred for Android, in quite some time. I would essentially have to try and relearn both of those. Also, with these 2 apps, it's kind of making me dive into working with databases, which I have not done in a very, very long time. And doing databases with mobile apps is a totally different beast than doing them with the doing them with websites. So, but that is coming along. I still have the couple of stories that I've been working on, and those are still making some progress here and there when I actually decide to work on them. When the characters decide to talk to me. Uh, Outside of that, the only other thing that I've been working on lately was what you guys just saw was a little ad for Nick. I will be playing that during the Burning His Yarn tonight. Uh, so with that, because I cannot monologue nearly as long as Nick does, um, I don't have I don't have as much inspirational stuff to say. But um, we are go ahead and get into the comments, and we will get through the comment dumps. There we go. All right. And first to the door this morning, we have Foxy. Good morning, Foxy. Hopefully you're doing well today. And Foxy's saying Inigo has been in play mode for about an hour now. He'll probably crash during the show. Yes, the puppy crashes are hard when they do hit, especially after playing. We actually see that with our cats a lot. They will run around. It will sound like a herd of elephants above me here in the basement, running up and down the halls and everything else. And all of a sudden there's silence. And the silence is worrying sometimes. But uh, it was actually cute the other night. Tobo and Bread were running around chasing each other, playing. And then they both decided to crash out on the wife. And Hobo was laying on her legs. And Bread was laying on the arm of her chair on top of her phone charger, and it looked like he was recharging himself. Um, and we have Carl here this morning. Carl's greeting Foxy. Good morning, Carl, and good morning to any lurkers. Yep, I was lurking in the background. So I almost had to try and get a hold of Dawn or Bladed or Richie this morning because Frontier decided to do maintenance overnight last night. And according to the text message, it should have been between uh, midnight and 7 a.m. that the maintenance was going on and be completed. I was on the phone with them at 10 after 8 going, when is this going to be done? Because I have things that I need the internet for. And as I was hanging up with them, our internet thankfully kicked back on. So, yeah, it was Even without Nick being here today, the Nick field apparently is strong. We got Bladed greeting Carl. Good morning, Bladed. How you doing today? And Foxy saying good morning to Carl, asking how his day is going. And we have Trey here. Good morning, Trey. I have seen you already this morning a couple times. Probably see you again for lunch. Carl says, inspirational thought of the day. The Hindenburg made many successful flights in Europe and 17 transatlantic flights. So don't let one failure set you back. That is actually a very good thought. And that is something that a lot of people, myself included, you have one failure and you basically just want to say, you know what, screw this, I'm done. And you can't let that one failure just set you back and make it to where you don't, uh, that you don't want to push on. You have to sit back and look at what the failure was, and try to look at it from different angles. Try and see what went wrong, where it went wrong, and trying to do that many W's followed by an WR sound is going to bring out my speech impediment so badly this morning. One moment while I take a quick sip of caffeine. Because, like that's actually going to do any good. But, take a look at how it went wrong and, try to figure out a plan to overcome that failure and try it again and keep trying. Sometimes failure will happen multiple times. Um, that is the case. I'll use my, apps that I've created as an example. There were so many little failures that made no sense that I had to, I was searching the internet, I was going back through and rewriting the same blocks of code to try and make sure I had everything correct. Um, and it's sometimes just as simple as missing one little semicolon that can screw up the whole thing. Um, and you won't always know where that semicolon was missing at, or that bracket, that closing bracket. Um, it might tell you, oh, the error's here on line, 74, but the actual error is back on line 36. You know, um, yeah, don't let one failure set you back. Keep pushing forward. Keep trying to create what you're creating. And we have Carl greeting Thesis and Trey and saying, doing good so far, Foxy. And we got greetings to Trey from Foxy. And Foxy says, ours has been full of puppy chomps. And Carl's saying, ouch, yeah. Ouch is the, that's the proper response to that, because puppies are cute, but good lord, do their teeth seem to be razor sharp sometimes. And we have Donna joining us. Good morning, Donna. I hope you're doing well today. Donna's greeting everyone. And Carl's asking, I believe, Foxy about the migraine, asking if it's any better. And Blade is greeting Trey. Carl says, there's my sweetie. And squee! Apparently, Carl's been hanging around Dawn. Blade says, and there's Donna. And Donna says, tomorrow's the first day of the 12 days of Yule. I'll be starting my Yuletide meditations. And I seem to remember seeing you post those, I believe, last year. And Fox says, happy Yule to you, Donna. And Carl says, for those who are interested, Zach, the Rocket guy, is doing better than he was last Friday. Yes, I actually got to speak to Zach a little bit last night also. I saw that he and Don were on the Discord, so I popped in there for a few minutes to see how he's been doing. He was even looking a lot better. Um, I know I first thing I noticed was he was clean shaved again, so they finally allowed him to have a shave, which I know being on some of the medicine he was on, they did not want to risk him getting a nick because even a simple nick would be extra bleedy. So, but no, it was good to see him. He seemed to be in decent spirits, and I'm glad that he is doing better. And Foxy's saying, "Oh, good." Trey's saying, "Thank goodness." And Hobo has been extra clean today, so he's laying on my lap under the blanket I'm making him as I'm making it. Yeah, Hobo has been really clingy and really vocal this morning. Um, he was really being vocal this morning, especially when I first got up. Part of that was the wet cat food was mostly empty; they could see the bottom of the bowl. But even after that, he was really vocal for a little bit. Uh, Carl says he just can't wait for his blanket to be completed. Yeah, he so he'll actually, if he's not on the wife's legs, he will actually just hop up on her and sit on the blanket and make her stop working on it, even though it's for them. Um, so yeah, so he's a cat. Let's be honest here. He's a cat. He's gonna do what he wants. Um, but it says blessed Jewel. And Carl saying Zach will need rehab because he's been on bed rest too long, but he was more like himself when we spoke last night. Yeah. Um, yeah, bed rest will really mess you up. Um, not getting to use your legs for that period of time, even if you're laying there and you're trying to move your legs, it's just not the same as being able to get up and walk around. And we have Dan joining us this morning. Good morning, Mr. Hollifield. How are you doing today? Your music was played for nearly 24 hours straight the other day as I did a rather large print job for the wife. Um, so thank you again for letting me use your music during my streams, my shows. It is greatly appreciated. Um, and I am getting a text from work. Let's see what this is. Oh, okay. That was actually my boss's wife sending me a recipe that we might be trying out, dear. Uh, I'm gonna have to take a look at that once I'm off the stream. And got Carl greeting Dan, Foxy greeting Dan, and Carl says, "Wait, Dan is up at this hour?" Well, I figure one of two things has happened. Either uh, Dan's got something going on this morning that requires him to be up as the roosters crow, or he hasn't been to bed yet. I'm willing to bet it's one of the two. That or he might have fallen asleep in the chair. And Foxy says, "Someone check the temps in hell. It must be freezing." And Blade is greeting Dan. And Foxy says, all joking aside, it's good to see you, Dan. Yes, it is good to see you here today, Dan. And Donna says, today's temperature in Hell, Michigan is 34 with snow showers. Yeah, thankfully, all the snow is staying to the north of us. It does not bother me at all. And Carl says, the sled art today a recreation of Foxy's second air flight? Oh bleep. Oh bleep. I didn't get to see the art today. I didn't pull up YouTube in my other browser tab because then I knew I would be chatting with you guys before the show and really screwing myself up with having to try and read your comments and my comments and everything else, so I didn't actually get to see it. Um, I'll have to go back and catch Nick's art time from last week and take a look at it. And Dan says, you don't get to see me awake this early very often, but today I have deliveries to eagerly await. So I'm out of bed before the morning fog. Fog outdoors allows us to see the sheep in the field outside. Oh, deliveries. Yeah, that's especially if they don't give you a decent time frame. That sucks. And I imagine if you are up this early, it's either they gave you we'll be there sometime between 8 and 12, or the famous line of, we'll be there sometime between 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. next Saturday. Which with some of these places, that wouldn't surprise me if that's the actual time frame they gave. And Fox said, oh, that hurt. Carl says, cool, Dan, and he's sending hugs to Foxy. Fox says, I was purple down one side of my body. People thought I was in a car crash. I bet. Because sledding, I mean, you get the right sled, you find the right hill with the right snowpack on it, and especially if it's one that has a nice little launch, that's going to hurt a bit on landing. Especially if the landing ends up with rolling and sliding, and yeah. And Dan says the new fireplace sometime today, and the truck after 4 p.m. And Carl's giving a concerned face to Foxy, and Foxy's telling them no, just sledding was awkward. Trey says sledding crashes are no joke. I've known people with broken bones. Yeah. We are about 20 minutes in to this episode here, so let's go ahead and play an ad. And just so I don't get yelled at by Nick, I will play my ad. All right, and we are back, and there's the comment I left off on. Foxy's saying, "Ugh, I hate the sometime deliveries." Yeah, those are just horrid because then it never fails. We'll be there sometime today. Yeah, that sometime is when I finally go to the bathroom, and then you guys pull up and knock on the door. Foxy says, "I'm lucky I didn't break any bones." Foxy says, Thesis told me I flew something like 20 feet. Oh, yeah. Carl says, even soft tissue injuries can be deadly. You were lucky. Yeah, that's true. And Foxy's saying, luckily I made myself go limp before I hit. That probably helped you out a lot. Dan saying, Foxy, I do too, but I have no control over the trucks that are hired to drop off purchases. Trey squints. Foxy, either the air elementals love you or you made them very upset. And we have Dawn joining us today. Good morning, Dawn. In case, well, no, 8:54, so you caught the beginning of the show. We do have a Burning His Yarn tonight. Foxy saying, I'm thinking they love me because I survived. Yes. And Carl's greeting Dawn and asking if there's a Burning His Yarn. Foxy says, with nothing more than a pretty purple half a body. And Trey says, good point. Oops, scroll a little too, wow. The scroll on this mouse really likes to work sometimes, and then other times it's like, I might go a little bit. Foxy saying, sadly, I mean the pretty part. I turned such lovely shades of purple, I wish I'd been able to color match some for paint. Oh, Trey says, yep, I'll be working on a pink sloth tonight. Oh, nice. Carl says, cool beans. And Trey says, LOL, Foxy, I ended up with a black eye and love the color so much. I bought matching eyeshadow. I remember that. And actually, I think you still have some of that eyeshadow. Foxy's saying, cute. Aren't we weird like that? Don says, hey, guess what I'm doing tonight? Either you're going to be on the Burning His Yarn or you're going to be hosting your own show. I'm hoping the Burning His Yarn. Foxy says, oh, this traumatic injury made me so pretty. Silver linings, I guess. Trey said, I had a friend tell me I look pretty with bruises. Then Carl says, friend? Okay. Well, you've had a friend ask you if you're pretty with bruises, and you've also had a friend ask if everything was okay at home when you had the 4 bruises on your arm from when you first joined fencing. For that full story, join us in the green room on Friday night. Trey says, Dawn, hopefully joining the derailments tonight. Yes, there will be shenanigans and derailments tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on the Independent Creator Directory channel. Donna says, don't forget to like and share, folks. Yes, please do like, share, subscribe, do all the fun things to help get Nick on the road to being monetized, because Lord knows my face being up here instead of his is not helping. Fox says, some friends are more weird than others, Carl. Yeah. And Donna says, hey, Nick. And Trey says, haha, was Amanda telling me the bruising offset my eye color well. And it really did. Carl says, well, we should know, Foxy. Don says, yep, I asked Joey about the show and he didn't give me a straight answer. I told you that, you'd find out if there was a show tonight. I just didn't, tell you exactly how or when you'd find out. Donna says, I feel called out somehow. And Dan says, like number 2 here, caress that button, folks. Yes, caress it gently. It puts the lotion on the like, else it gets the hose again. And Trey says he's been working on our internet outage this morning. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, fun. That's the F word we'll use. Yes. Carl says, Don, we need to do that other show again sometime. Hint, hint. Gee, I almost wonder what other show Carl could be talking about. I wonder, where the hell does he have that hidden at? I wonder if it's this one.
It's time to scan, that is the plan, with Carl and Dawn to catch a fawn or unicorn. We're so forlorn, we got a Koepp, so here's our rep. Munsey, we want to Munsey, because we want some points and funny badges with our modern cell phone gadgets. Munsey, we've got to Munsey. Download that app and help us Koepp, and you can play it too. Munsey is good exercise, good for your heart and for your thighs. Dawn is such a lovely lass. Come on, Dawn, get off your Share
Share.
Munsey, we want to Munsey, because we want some points and funny badges with our modern cell phone gadgets. Munsey, we got to Munsey. Download that app and help us cap, and you can play it too.
All right. And something else I forgot to do earlier, that I know Nick always does. Dawn also has the Facebook page of Buddy and Georgette, the fancy felines. I shall pause for the squee that is incoming. And the squee should have happened. So, let's see, go back to comments here. Get any comment dumps out of the way. And scrolling. There we go. And Foxy says, uh-oh. Don says, yeah, Carl. Carl says, uh-huh. And Trey says, oh, hi there, friend. Yes, this is about time that I came on. Carl's saying, wow. That scared the crap out of me. uh, yeah, I went through, and I actually, so I had that, I think we did that for like April Fool's Day or something. I had that little clip of Nick. And I was trying to find it again. I ran across it the other day. I'm like, oh, perfect. I'm gonna upload that for when I do Nick's show on Wednesday. Have that play right after the opening intro. And I couldn't find it again. I was searching the computer behind me here for it. It was on my Mac here. It was in the downloads folder. And I just happened to stumble across it again and quickly uploaded it before the show started. But I figured it'd be a good one to still play. So, and Carl says, yep. And Donna says, no, Nick, that's right. Hey, Joe. Good morning again, Donna. And Fox said, I remember Nick mentioning it Monday. And Carl said, an ad for Nick. Great, Joe. And Trey says, it's a Nick ad. Yes. Um, yeah, I just haphazardly threw that together the other day, last Friday, actually. So I am going to try and work on a better one. But I do kind of like how this one turned out. The music is growing on me with it being sped up. So, and Don says, squee. And Dan says, the ad has almost as much energy as Nick. That's true. Carl says, wow. As Don says, I remember now, Foxy, but I haven't been up that long. And great ad. Fox says, I have sadly decided 6 was a great time to start playing. And Donna says, I'm lucky, Foxy. The cats wake their daddy up and not me. And Fox says, they know better, eh? Probably. I would not be the one that would want to have to wake Donna up. And Dan's laughing at Foxy. Donna says, any smart creature knows better, Foxy. Yeah, I fully believe that, and you will hear no argument out of me for that one. I'm sure even Carl probably wakes you very gently. Fox says, Inigo usually pounces me first. He knows I'm less likely to shove him off the bed. Then he pesters me for half an hour or so before pouncing Thesis. So I had a dog when we were living in South Haven, Indiana. Her name was Ladybug. Sweet dog. She loved playing fetch. The ball was her baby. And I had hardwood floors in the bedroom. And if I was trying to sleep in, she would hop up on the bed, look at me, and then drop her ball on the floor, and you just hear the thunk, 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 thunk. And she'd look at me, jump down, grab the ball, jump back up on the bed, look back at me again, then drop the ball onto the floor. Thunk, 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 thunk. After about the third time, I'd finally look at her and go, lady, lay down. Jump up on the bed, look at me. Thunk, 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 thunk. All right. Let me get up. I'd get up, let her go outside to use the bathroom, come back in, lay down. She'd start doing it again. All right. Open the bedroom door again, go down to the other end of the hall to my mom's bedroom, open her door slightly, toss the ball in there. Ladybug would run in after it. I'd close the door behind her and make her my mom's issue. I was such a great son sometimes. Dawn says accountability. I have doctor appointment today and show tonight, so holding on to energy for those two commitments. Dawn, if the doctor's appointment takes too much out of you, we can do the show. Do not overwork yourself. And Carl's saying good plan, Dawn. And Foxy's giving encouragement with you can do it, Dawn. And Dawn says the herd of elephants have been rampant in our house today. Yeah. I've heard it a few times already this morning. And Trey says, be gentle with yourself, Dawn. Yes, do be gentle. And Blaze says, Inigo is passed out in front of the TV right now. Foxy called it. Trey, Hobo is still sleeping on my legs. Brett is worryingly quiet. Okay, so when I came down here to get ready, and granted it's been about 26 minutes since you made that comment, he was in the window looking outside. And Fox says that's ominous. Yeah. Brett is like a toddler. You want him to be making some noise, because otherwise that means he's either A, getting into something, or B, staring intently at his rodent brethren. And Grant's here. Hello, Grant. Hope you're doing well this morning. And we got greetings and more greetings. And Dan says, I have Billy sleeping on my coat in the closet behind me, and Violet came in to beg for food while Lynn was feeding the outdoor cats. So, there was a time my mom was dog sitting for a friend of hers. Now, this friend lives on, I want to say it's 10 acres, and it's a fenced in 10 acres. So the dogs have all the room in the world to run. They have several doggy doors in and out of the house. And they even went as far as putting in a large enough pipe underneath their driveway to connect the two sides of the yard. My mom was staying down there, and she had made some beef stew. Well, when you have 10 you got a whole bunch of dogs and beef stew. You also have a bunch of little bitty eyes looking at you, going, "We would like some of this." And the one dog all of a sudden just starts barking and running towards the door, which causes all the other dogs to start barking and running towards the door and going through the doggy door and outside. And the little dog stayed behind and came back and sat down in front of my mom. He purposely tricked the other dogs into going outside so that he could get a little bit of beef stew. And he succeeded in that. For having the smarts to get everybody else out the door, he was well rewarded. And Fox says, "Oh, Dan, you'll be happy to know." And he goes up to healthy weight now. He was 37 pounds at his last visit. Nice. And Trey says, if at first you don't succeed, figure out why. Miss Frizzle. Dawn says, one elephant is in his tower. The other elephant is still full of who knows what, but the ball must be punished. They said Thomas Edison tried and failed nearly 2,000 times to develop the carbonized cotton thread filament for the incandescent light bulb. That I did not know. Carl says, wow, Joe's coffee mug is the only one larger than Donna's I've ever seen. Oh, it's not coffee. It's just water with the flavor packets that have energy added to them. And no, it's not the water, Joe. It's just regular tap water. Although I do have friends that I'm pretty sure could drink this much coffee in one go. And right now, my friend Viper is, grabbing his knee and wondering why it suddenly hurts. And Dan says, "Healthy Inigo." And Blaze says, "We asked about it." And when asked about it, he said, "I didn't fail. I found out 2,000 ways how not to make a light bulb, but you only needed one way to make it work." That is an excellent way to look at it. And Fox says, "Yep, you got a clean bill of health." Trey says, "A number of times I failed to count to 4, then came back later and got it down." Yes. And now I'm singing that song in my head, Trey, says Foxy. "Yes, so am I." And Trey says, "Excellent." And Grant says, "Hey, all, I probably won't be here too long. I have to go to work soon." Well, have a good day at work. And Carl says, "Thesis, I imagine that anyone wanting to improve the light bulb probably appreciated Edison's 2,000 failures and what not to do. This is true." And Fox is saying boo to Grant having to go to work. And we got greetings to Grant. And we got the Madness Comics Network. Pops Van Zant, how you doing this morning, bud? I did get your email the other yesterday with that video. And I did convert it from the, I think it was like M4V format that it was sent in. I converted it over to an MOV file, and I'm gonna work on getting that uploaded to NDCD later today. So that will be up on your page. I also looked at your calendar. I'm gonna try and get all those shows added on to the NDCD calendar. So that'll be a little bit of an undertaking. You have grown tremendously. If anybody wants to see where Pops has all of his stuff, I'm gonna try and do this off memory, but it should be themeg.tv. Go and check it out. They've got their full calendar listed on there. They got all the different streaming uh, services that they're on, whether it's YouTube, Twitch, X. I think they have some shows on Rumble, uh, and they've got shows every day of the week, all throughout, uh, all throughout the week. Pretty much almost any time of day at this point. Um, and where did that comment go? Because I didn't start like I should have. Okay, there we are. And Trey says, "Boo, but understandable." And we have greetings. And greetings to Pops. And Dawn says, "Pops, that you? Long time no see." And Pops saying, "Hello, everyone. Been a minute. I survived my surgery. Seem to be recovering okay, moving forward." Excellent to hear, sir. I'm glad you're recovering from the surgery. Um, I know we don't interact too much, but yeah, I do keep track of you on Facebook, man, and I hope the recovery goes well. And Don says, "Onward and upward." Trey saying, "Glad you're on the upswing." And Carl saying, "Yay." Foxy says, "Happy healing." And Dan said, "Making a third cup of coffee today." Yeah, well, that's understandable, Dan. You're up when the rooster crows, which is not a normal day for you. So, Pop's saying it's all action. Check out this work in progress masterpiece, the Meg.TV. Okay, I did have it right. Uh, Don says, "I was super happy to chat with Zachy. Love that kid." Yes. And actually, going back to this one for a second, I would try and play that. Um, I would try and. I'm gonna see if I can upload that to uh, the Burning's Yarn tonight and see if that video will play. I don't know if it will or not due to size. So I know StreamYard does have a restriction on sizes, uh, but I will see if I can get that video uploaded tonight and play it. I know it is about 3 minutes long, but it does a good job of showcasing everybody who's broadcasting on your network. Blade says cats are either the cleanest creatures on the planet or most antagonistic ever conceived. There's no middle ground. That is true. And Pop's saying, good to see you, Joe. Send an email. Yep, I did get it. Trey says, Laura has excellent recipes. I'm all for trying it. Yeah, it's some kind of stuffed shell. It looks really good. And Pops is saying, at dawn, yes, Dawn, it's me with 30 plus weekly shows and do not have a lot of time to watch others. Yeah. And I know a lot of our shows kind of overlap each other. Because normally about the time I'm going live on Wednesday nights, I'm getting notifications for stuff on your network too. So, Trey says, goodness, that's an aggressive schedule. Yeah. If you don't subscribe to it, you definitely check it out on YouTube, the Madness Comics Network. Just be warned, you will be getting flooded with notifications. If you do, set it to where it tells you, the half hour before and when the show starts. So, but yeah, no, it's a good network to check out. And Don says, I understand. I may not be at that many shows, but been pushing Indie CD when I can. Speaking of, the Indie CD traveling table will be in 2 places in March. And Trey says, woot. Don says, IndieCD.con and Bookfest. Yes. And Fox is saying, nice. And Pop says, I had our Wednesday 11 a.m. show moved to 12 p.m., so I'm free to watch today. Excellent. And Don saying, get your name out at events under the Indie CD umbrella for a nominal fee. And Pop saying, hey, Joe, I have something I want to discuss with you. Hit me up sometime soon. Mutually beneficial. Sounds good. I will send you a Facebook message after the show. My brain is still not wanting the brain today. Trey says, hope will let me up, so now I get to be in the office. And Dan saying the electric fireplace delivery is between 11:30 and 3:20. Interesting range pick. And I scheduled the delivery for the pickup truck between 4 and 6 this evening because Lynn has to be here too. She's at the church now. And Carl says, Don, I cannot get the Indie CD table thing to work, so where can I send the $30? And Fox says, remind Thesis and I to tell you in green room about the knee bruise. Oh, Lord. And we have Mike Jimmy here. Good morning, Mike Jimmy. I hope you're doing well. I know you've been going through some things. Hopefully the hip is, somewhat healing, or not just somewhat healing. Hopefully it's healing. And yes, it is a different bearded man. And actually the beard might be going away soon. I haven't decided yet. But it'll come back because I'm too lazy to shave every day. And we got greetings and greetings and greetings and greetings. And Blaze says, or to tell the story about your coworkers cornering me one night because of the mark on your neck. Ooh. And we got greetings to Mike. And Don says, today is full of faces that we don't see often. This is awesome. Yes, it is. And Blaze says, hey, Mike Jimmy, how's it going? And Mike says, evening lovelies. Not sure how long I can hang before dinner is done. That's right. You are quite a few hours ahead of us here. And Fox says, dinner is good usually. And Don says, Mike, I received my LOC goodies. Awesome. And I need to get a pic and send that to you. And Mike says, awesome. Glad they came in time for Christmas. And Fox says, wow, my voice is extra deep today. And this should have been right around the time of the Munzie show, or Munzie ad. Speaking of ads, we are going to play a couple of ads here real quick. And the first one, Let's play. I am so not used to his setup. Yeah, we're going to play one for Abelian.
Hello, I'm Dan Hallfield. I'm the senior editor and publisher of Abelian Webzine, the world's oldest free creative writing e-zine since 1997. Since then, we have helped over 500 amateur writers learn what they needed to turn pro. www.aphelion-webzine.com and read not only what we've got going on right now, but 28 years worth of our archives of stories. Thank you very much.
All right, and Trey says, I was wondering if Joe would say chair. Yeah, I decided to pipe in. And Carl says, get off your Jeff. You know what? I feel that this is appropriate for that comment. Yeah. Just wow. Anyway, let's see. And Don says, my babies. And Fox says, this head cold's making my voice a bit rough and low. Yeah, the head colds will do that. And Mike Jr. saying, as for how it's going, if I hadn't called the hospital, I'd have had a surgery in February instead of in a few weeks. I'm getting by. I'm glad you called then. Good Lord. Hopefully the surgery goes well though, and you have a quick recovery. Dan says my oldest daughter has a Jeff in her kitchen. And Carl saying yikes to Mike Jimmy, and Fox says oof, glad you're getting in sooner. Yes. May your recovery be swift. Yes. And Madness Pop says 30 minutes to get through the pre-show chat. You got some work to do, Joe. Yeah, this is actually tame compared to some of the pre-show chat Nick has had to go through. And I'm only about 20 minutes behind, which isn't horrible. So I am going to try and speed run some of these. Mike says they put me on the wrong waiting list. The hip is doing okay though. I get by on a single crutch like Dr. House now. That's good. It sucks that you still need surgery. It really sucks they put you on the wrong waiting list, but at least the hip is doing well enough that you can, go through and get around. And Blade says, if you ever need to talk to someone who has been in a similar situation, feel free to reach out. Yes, definitely reach out to Bladed Mike Jimmy. And Don says, can you upload Nick's ad to 411, please? Yes, I will do that later. And Trey says, good thing you called in. Yeah. And Mike says, I know thesis. It's appreciated. And Don says, been quietly sending good vibes to you and your family. Mike Jimmy says, accountability. I restarted an old project, currently working on an updated character designs and storyboards for a 48-page script. Awesome. I look forward to seeing that. And Fox says, I think we all have, Dawn. Yeah. Blaze saying, broken hips are no fun. Donna says, Carl wakes me from across the room. Oh, Carl, you a smart man. Mike Jimmy says, thanks, Don. You're a darling, like all y'all. And Trey says, Ladybug's a great dog, but super jealous. Yeah, she was just a little jealous of you. Mike Jimmy says, I don't know what my mother-in-law is making in that kitchen, but it smells like heaven in a frying pan. Oh boy, I know where Lowe's has got it from. Yeah. Mother-in-laws and frying pans can either be a great thing or it can be something of a worry depending on your relationship with the mother-in-law. And we have Chris Walker joining us this morning. Good morning, Chris. And we have the obligatory squee from Dawn. And we have greetings and greetings and greetings and greetings. And Carl says, smart pup, such a clever pup. And Pop's saying, sweet, that is a lot of work. There it is. Dawn says, I'm so glad Joey did not say Dan was up at butt crack of dawn. Now me saying it. Yeah. And Pop says, I did post it on my YouTube last night and that it does fit in the StreamYard. Okay, cool. So I will get that uploaded tonight and play that. It is a 3-minute long ad, folks. So it might get played either more towards the beginning or more towards the end, but it will get played. And Blade says, I have an entire folder of my bookmarks of recipes I want to try. I've been able to do a few of them, and the ones I have tried have been awesome. And Pop says 2025 is the year of the Madness Roku Network. That is awesome. I look forward to seeing you guys on Roku because that's basically what I stream everything off of here. Mike Jimmy says, time for me to hop. Sadly, I have to go wake up a toddler and get her ready for dinner. Hopefully, I'll be talking to you all again soon. Take care, Mike. Give our love to Lowe's and the little one, and we hope to see you soon, bud. And Dawn says, say hi to the fam. And we got Dan and Foxy saying bye and have a good evening. Lade says, one of these days we need to exchange cell phone numbers or something, Joe. That way, if you try to get hold of me for something, you don't have to use Facebook. Yeah, I do need to do that. I'll send it to you. I'll send you mine after the show. Mike says, thanks, guys. Take care. And Blaze says, I don't get on for the first couple hours of the day to protect my peace. That's always a good thing. And Carl says, thesis, I have to get on Facebook the first thing in the morning to protect some of you from others. Some of the humor posts. Wow. Fox says, I imagine so, Carl. We're a fun lot of degenerates, though. This is true. And some more than others. Yeah. And Trey says, 3-minute ad equals stretch break for me. Yeah, that's actually a good point. That would give you a good stretch of the hands and, being able to crack your knuckles and everything. And Blade says, you guys aren't the ones that are the problem. The humor group posts, for the most part, are funny. And Carl says, yay, Joe caught up. I did catch up, and we're going to play a couple more ads. We're going to wrap up the show here. Like I said, there's not going to be an art time after this, but there will be a Burning His Yarn tonight. So let's play a couple more ads here, and we will wrap things up.
Hi, this is Kat. During the school year, I'm Mrs. Rothermel, but otherwise, I am Rock and Roll Art Goddess, writing about my past and filming the present. I need you to join my Rock and Roll Art army and to check out my merch on Zazzle.com. What started out as journal therapy is now 4 books, I see, and an Instagram account to blow off steam, becoming a book, with another to do the same. A short film for a friend? No, this is not the end. Peace, love, and let me art.
Welcome, friends. I'm Belated Thesis, and this is my tea house. Come join me every Saturday at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time as we discuss Chinese culture, history, philosophy, and of course, martial arts. You can find me at youtube.com/BLADEDTH3SIS. Pull up a chair, grab a cup of tea, or the drink of your choice, and join the discussion.
All right. And Fox says we're slacking. Chris says, congratulations, Joe. You have caught up. Don says, now you're just saving it up for tonight. We found our slack. It's all good. Time for a comment dump. Time for the soft food dump. See you all tonight. Yep, go feed the cats. I know that it's about kitty cat lunchtime for you guys. So with that, folks, thank you for tuning in today. I hope you've enjoyed the show. And I cannot for the life of me remember what Nick says at the end of his shows, but do keep creating. You can't edit a blank page. I do remember that part. Which the IT side of me keeps going, but you can edit a blank page. By editing it, you're adding a story to it. But that's just my, That's my IT brain just going nuts. We have Dan saying goodbye, and Fox says food dump sounds unpleasant. So you're talking about cats. Yes, I love you, and you should too. Have a great day, folks. We'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time for the Burning is Yarn. Good night, or good day.